Okay, so welcome back to math. We had a long break, one of the longest EIDs I've had in years. A lot of times, some EIDs, fall a little bit better, like not in intercession. Usually, when I first started here 8 years ago, or even like 5 or 6 years ago, we had an EID. I can't remember now, but at one point we had EID in the middle of October, which was nice. Middle of May, not so nice because intercession is such a tough time. But we're back to the regular schedule now. So you guys can follow the regular schedule, meaning, on Sunday it's 9:30. Monday it says 7:30. We'll talk a little bit about that later. We might start the Monday class at around 8. Tuesday 9:30, Wednesday 11:30, and then tomorrow at 1:30. So we're back to the regular schedule, which you guys can find on PeopleSoft or when you registered. We're not obviously doing Ramadan hours anymore. Now, before I get too deep into this, I was doing attendance, like looking at the classes and who's attended. And I have one question for a student. I have two questions actually for students. There's a student here called under the name Isra. You're not in my class list. Do you have the student Isra? Could you send me, so Isra, student number is next to your name. I do not have you on my class list. Are you registered under a different name? And I have another student signed in who was here. I guess there was an iPhone user, Sultan maybe again. That's been fixed. But Isra, if you can hear me, I need to know your name. So that's your name? You're not on my class list. I might have to check into that. Do you have like another name that you go by? Like your student number isn't in my list either. If this is your name and that is your correct student number, I'll look into it. Maybe you're registered under another section or something, but it's not an issue. I just needed to know if your name was different. I can look into this. So Isra, if that is your name, you're fine. I'll look into it. Okay. Ezra. Okay, I'll check. I don't have your student number, but it's not an issue. You might just be something up with my attendance probably. So the fact that you're in the D2L is means you're in this course. So maybe it's a problem with my PeopleSoft or something. So I'll look into that, Ezra. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. What else was I going to say? So as I mentioned before Eid, we are having a test on Tuesday, the 25th. So we have a couple more things to do. I've uploaded your second assignment, which you guys can take a chance to do. It's only, I think it's 6 multiple choice questions. Let me just share a new screen here and show you. I won't show you the quiz because I can't really open it as a teacher anyways. But let me show you this. Share my screen.
So, in the Canvas?
Yes, so the assignment is done online, of course, as the first assignment was done. It's just 6 questions, sorry. It's on topics 8, 9, and 11. We're going to start 11, maybe finish 11 today. And your test is on campus. I mentioned this before Eid. It's on Tuesday, May 25th, and it's on campus. It's an auditorium, the auditorium in Building 1, so we'll have lots of room to social distance. That's all math sections are having that topic, or that test, sorry. Just remember, we are not doing topic 10, so you can skip topic 10. And it will cover 1 to 14, which hopefully we can get up to about 13 tomorrow, and then finish topic 14 on Sunday. It shouldn't be too hard. What was I gonna? I think there was something else I was gonna say, but I can't remember. Anyways, so the test is on campus. If for some reason some of you are quarantining, I hope that doesn't happen, but it could happen. Just send me an email and we will worry about that then. That's it really. So the assignment is actually very short. Oh, this is what I was going to mention. I, for some reason, thought your assignments were worth a lot more. Your assignments are worth 10%, which means each assignment you do is usually at the end of the semester will only be worth about 2%, or roughly 2%. There will be about 4 assignments. So 10 divided by 4, you're looking at, I guess about 3%. So the assignments are not worth as much as I thought. I think last week or when we had classes, I said they were worth like 5%, but they're actually worth less than that. In total, your assignments are only worth 10%. So they're not worth a whole lot. The test is not a midterm, it's just a test. I just had that question in the chat there. We don't have midterms in math. We have 2 tests. So this is the first of 2 tests. All right, cool. So let's get started with, and we'll do a review before the test, don't worry. So I will have a review tutorial before you guys do that test, don't worry. So to continue on where we were last day, which was May 6th, I think. So some of you guys might want to take the weekend, maybe watch a couple classes. You can skip through them or review your material. The assignment itself will be good review. There's no time limit for that assignment. Actually, let me just double check that before I got to make sure that that's fixed. Assignment 2. There's no time limit, so you can spend as much time as you want on that assignment. There we go. Okay. So yeah, the assignment will be a good review for you guys to kind of get caught up to where we are. Last day we did the substitution method, and I was really unfortunate or sad because we ran out of time. What I wanted to do on May 6th was to finish systems of equations, but we didn't have time. So I have one more method to show you. We've done 2 methods so far. We did graphing. Oh, sorry, let me share my screen here. So we did graphing and we did substitution. Okay, so let me just skip back here. We did graphing, solving a system of equations, by graphing like this. And then we did substitution. Okay, so if you can't remember that, you might want to watch the last class. Today, we're going to start with my personal favorite method, elimination. If I had to choose one of the 3, this is my favorite. I don't know why, just I remember doing this in high school, definitely my favorite method. Just a reminder, a system of equations is 2 lines or 2 sets of data, and we're going to solve for 2 variables. We're going to try to find X and Y. Remember when you're studying or you're practicing this, we are not doing 3 variables. So we skipped chapter 10 or section 10. We're only sticking with 2 variables. So the multiplication and addition method, personal favorite. One little thing to note. How do I start this? You can add these equations together. Okay, so the multiplication addition method is a method where you come up with a number, add the equations together, and your goal is to cancel one of the numbers. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if I added these 2 equations together, and like I know it's like 4x plus 5y equals 23, 3x minus 5y equals 9. You can see that there. If I add them together, the 4 and the 3x means I have 7 x's. The 23 and the negative 9 means I'll have 14, no problem. But the 5y and the negative 5y cancel. They have been eliminated. And that's where this method comes from. You come up with a way, and it's a lot easier than I'm explaining it. I'll show you, don't worry. But you come up with a way to add 2 equations together so that the numbers eliminate, like one variable eliminates. Okay. Then you solve for the one variable remaining. And then you go back to what we were doing in the substitution method. You put that number in to solve for the other variable. Now this all looks crazy, I know. Let me show you how, I want to show you how easy this is. Now this practice problem is very easy. You won't see one like this on the test. You would probably see one a little bit more like wink wink on page 104. So let me get us warmed up. It's been a long time since any of you have probably thought about math. So let's do an easy warm-up one. I have two equations, okay? 2x plus 3y equals 4. 3x minus 3y equals 6. And I want to find out, what is the solution? What is the x and y that these both have in common? Well, I notice that the y variables are opposites. So what I can do is first, oops, I did not mean to do that. I'm tempted to, no, I won't. I was going to unplug my keyboard, but we'll see. I'm going to add these together. So 2x plus 3y equals 4. 3x minus 3y equals 6. And I'm just going to add them together. So the y's cancel. 3y minus 3y, that's 0y. And what I'm left with is 5x equals 10. Easy. Okay, so now I'm going to solve for x. X would be 2. You guys, I hope you would know where I got that from. I just divided both sides by 5. Okay, so x is equal to 2. All right, now that I know what x is, why don't I plug it into one of my equations? Now, guys, when I say plug it in, what I just mean is I'm going to put the 2 in for x and solve for y. Why did I pick the first equation? I just felt like it. You could pick any equation you wanted. I liked the first equation because it didn't have a negative in it. So I went with it. So this would be 4 equals 3. Oops, sorry. 4 plus 3y equals 4. Ooh, look at this. 3y is going to be 4 minus 4. 3, I'm going very slow through this. You don't have to show me all of these steps here.
For both the equations, we are going to get the same value for y, right?
Yes, you have to. Yeah, for each equation, we will get the same value for y.
All right, thank you.
No problem. So that's it. That's my answer. The answer is 2 and 0, x and y.
Sir,
Yes.
in the test, you will ask for specific solution. For example, solve the following system by multiplication or any method you want, or
So I've had this question a few times. What I can tell you is I would know graphing, but you should know graphing anyways, because we're in topic 11 now, by the way. In topic 8 and 9, we did graphing. So I would know graphing and then substitution or elimination. So make sure you know graphing. And then you can just pick sub or elimination. I won't ask you, like you can do whatever one you want. So I would know graphing, but you should know graphing anyways, because graphing is in topics 8 and 9, or at least 8, and substitution or elimination. Pick whatever one you guys like. Okay. I don't know why I like elimination so good or so much. Okay. Now I hope that answered your question. That's a good question.
yeah,
What?
thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Whatever you're comfortable with. So this example, guys, I'm not really going to explain for you. I find it hard to do them because it's already solved, as you can see. So I'm going to very quickly explain this one and then do this practice. But what's happening in this equation? This is more like a real equation. There's no way for me to cancel anything right away. 2x and 3x, they do not cancel. 5 and 2, they do not cancel. So what you do, And again, if you don't like this method, you want to go back and watch the class on Thursday, May 6th, to learn substitution. But what I do for this method is I'm going to multiply both equations by opposite coefficients so that they cancel. Meaning I'm going to multiply, I need the numbers to be the same and I need them to cancel. And what that ends up happening, or what this ends up being for the top one, is I multiply the top by 3, so I get 6. I multiply the bottom by -2, so I get -6, and they cancel. Now, let me show you, because I think like that's a little confusing. Let me actually do one with you. Okay, so this will be a good practice one. You can solve this with substitution or elimination, whatever you want, but I'm going to show you the elimination method or multiplication elimination method, whatever. The same thing. So I have 3x plus 4y equals -17. 4x minus 3y equals -6. I need them to cancel. You can cancel whatever you want. Again, because I've done this about 200,000 times in my life, I think for me, I'm going to get rid of the y. Now, why did I pick y? Well, I like the fact that one is positive and one is negative. Now I don't have to worry about using a negative number. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my first equation, 3x plus 4y, I hope I don't run out of room, equals -17. And my other equation, 4x minus 3y equals -6. I'm going to multiply them by numbers so that the y's cancel. So what I need to think about is a number that 4 and 3 can equal that are the same. It's a lowest common multiple, LCM, or lowest common multiple here. It's easier than it sounds, though. Think of a number that 3 and 4 both go into. The hint here is if you multiply them by each other, that's your answer. So what I'm going to do, and I'll explain it now when I write my number down, I'm going to multiply this equation by 3, and I'm going to multiply the second equation by 4. Now, why? 3 times 4y is 12y. 4 times -3y is -12. So I'm going to get them to cancel. So what I end up getting is 9x plus 12y equals, I need my calculator. 3 times 17, it's going to be 41. Just make sure. 51, I was close. Watch out for your negative, so it's -51. The next one, 16x minus 12y equals a -24. And then I add them together. Now, why would I pick this method for me? Why do I like this better than substitution? I'll tell you why. This method, rarely, I shouldn't say never, but you rarely create fractions for yourself. And I remember being a young student, I didn't have a Casio calculator like you guys have, meaning I didn't have a calculator that worked with fractions. So I hated using fractions. And the elimination method typically will never give you a fraction. Again, I was a bit of a math geek. I knew both methods. So I kind of used whatever method was easier. So 9 plus 16 is 25. X equals minus 51 plus a minus 24. That would be a -75. So X will be -75 over 25, or X equals -3. Whew. All right. Again, this seems crazy, but there is a use for this, believe it or not. And I can speak to my business students. I remember I was in university doing chemistry, so I didn't do any of this stuff, not really, pure chemistry. But I had friends, a lot of my friends decided to take business, and this was something that they had to do in business math all the time. And I remember I used to tutor my friends. They'd I didn't ask for money, but maybe they'd cook me dinner or something, take me to a movie or something. But I used to tutor them on this. because they couldn't remember it from high school. So as weird as this seems, I can speak especially to my business students. You will see this again. Okay, so I know X. The only thing left is to find Y. So I'm going to pick an equation. It doesn't matter what equation I pick. I'm just going to pick the first one. 3x plus 4y equals minus 17. So 3 times negative 3 plus 4y equals minus 17. 4y equals minus 17 plus 9. It's a positive because I'm moving it over to the other side. Okay, minus 17 plus 9 is going to give us a negative 8. Whew. And that means y is, of course, a negative 2. We are done. That's it. I don't know if you guys find that easy. The answer is negative 3 and negative 2. I don't know how I feel about it or how you feel about it. It's looking back on it, I don't know if it's my favorite method, but it definitely was when I was younger. If you hate this method, you can use substitution. Eventually, I learned how to do this with matrices and using a graphing calculator, but a lot of you guys don't have graphing calculators, and we're not going to do matrices, which is a lot less work. So, see, 1 and 2 are very easy. So how about for practice, you guys yourselves warm up? Why don't you warm up with number 1? And then why don't you try number 3? Now, a little note about number 3, you're going to have to make one of these numbers negative. So be careful in number 3. You're going to have to multiply one of these by a negative to get them to cancel. So number 1 is a good, easy warm up. Why don't you try number 3? If you want to do this and you prefer substitution, you can do that. All I want you guys to tell me is what is the answer, X and Y. So I will give you, let's say 5 minutes or maybe more to try these two, and then we'll check your answers. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know in that chat. All right, so I'll be back in 5. All right, I'm getting some good answers in there. A lot of people got number 1, and I'm getting a few people who are giving me number 3, and I'm getting the same answers. So just take another minute and try to finish at least number 3. Wink, wink. Number 3 or say number 4 would be much more like something you would see on the test, because number 1 and number 2 are kind of set up to be very easy. But we wouldn't do anything too hard, like say number 8, for example. It wouldn't really be like something on your test. So just take one more minute, try number 1, or finish off number 3, and I'll put the answers up in literally 60 seconds. Okay. Oh, and again, if you use the substitution method, that is fine. All right, let's have a look at these. Okay. I think then after this, then we skip a little bit because we're not doing matrices in this course. We're not doing Kramer's rule. So then after this, we get into topic 11. I thought we were that's right. Okay, cool. That's perfect. All right. Sorry, let me just go back. I'm scrolling really slow. All right. So number 1. Here we go. Number 1, super straightforward. We just, first things first, we add them together. So x minus y equals 4, 2x plus y equals -4. Add them up. So you would get 3x equals 0 because these all cancel. Now, keep in mind, you have to put the 0 there. You can't have it equal like no number. It has to be equal to something. So, an integer of some sort. So x is 0. I love it when x equals 0 because solving for y then is really easy. Now, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the second equation. The only reason I do that is because then I don't have to deal with negatives. You could use whatever equation you wanted. I'm going to pick the second one. So 2, 0. Well, here, let me write it down for you. 2x plus y equals -4. So 2 times 0 plus y equals -4. And there's your answer. Y equals -4. So most people in the chat, well, if I say most people, every student in the chat got that one. That's really how easy the addition method, I call it the elimination, right? But the multiple, like, again, I'm an old school guy. I call it elimination. That's how easy this method is. The challenge for you is to come up with 2 numbers to get them to cancel. Now, I'm going to warn you, my elimination for number 3 might be different than yours. I'm going to eliminate x. There's no reason. It's just the numbers are smaller. It's a personal preference. Some of you might have gotten rid of y. You could have made them equal 24 or whatever. I'm going to get rid of x. So what I'm trying to do is, again, if you picked y, that's perfect. Like, there's more than one way to solve this, but I want to get rid of x. So what I'm going to do is think of a number that 4 and 5 go into, and it's really easy, and this will work for every question. 5 times 4 is 20. So if I multiply the whole top equation by, let's say, 4, but I'm going to multiply the whole bottom equation by -5. That's where some of you might have made a mistake. It has to cancel. One has to be positive, one has to be negative. But if I do this, then I'll get 20x plus 24y equals -8. You guys keep watching me, see if I make a mistake, by the way. The second equation will be -20x plus, oops, not plus. Then it would be -30y equals +10. Watch out for your integers, watch out for your negative numbers. This is something I mess up all the time. So I add them together and I would get -6y equals 2. Is that what you guys got?
Sir,
Or did I make a mistake? Yes?
sir, is 8 times 4, it's 32, not 24.
Ah, yes, thank you. I was wondering. Thank you. This is 32. Thank you. As I wrote that equation, I actually said, hey, if I make a mistake, can you guys let me know? And thank you for that. So yeah, 8 times 4 is 32. My brain isn't quite awake yet. And this gives us 2y. Now this is looking a lot better. Okay, so y is equal to 1. Let me just check the chat and see if that's what everybody got. Yep, okay, perfect. Now, thank you for that, whoever fixed me there. So again, guys, I just made a little math typo, or not typo, but mistake. And you can really see how one little mistake kind of throws you off. Now, the bad news is on an assignment, it's multiple choice, so you need to be really careful. But on a test, if you make a little silly mistake like I made, you'd still get almost full marks. If you did what I just did and messed up one little calculation, you'd get like a 4.5 out of 5 or something like that. Okay, I'm still not done though, because I need to figure out what x is. Doesn't really matter which equation for me, so I'm going to pick the first one. You could have picked the second one, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to put in 1 for y here. So 5x plus 8 equals -2. 5x equals -2 minus 8. Actually, guys, I'm just going to write that as a -10. And then what did you guys get? Let me check my answer to see if you guys got the same thing. Yep, we got the same thing. X now will be a -2. Oh, and if you're wondering where that came from, I'm just going to divide both sides by 5. And there's my answer, -2 and 1. Whew, not bad. Okay, that's it for this section. All right, now that's it, and I'll leave these for you guys to practice. Remember, the answers are on the D2L. You can see the Unit 1 solutions. So you can practice these, and again, when you're doing these, like for number like 7, for example, it'd be really easy to do the substitution method. You can pick whatever method you want. Okay. Now, when you guys are studying, I mentioned this the other day, but you do not need to worry about 3 variables or anything to do with matrices. None of the Math 1700 classes are doing this. Because of Eid and Ramadan and intercession. So like all 3 of these things, intercession, Ramadan, and Eid have cut down on time. We need to make some cuts. And you can skip page 107. So I'm only going to say this once. You can skip page 107, 108. We're not doing Kramer's rule. 109, you can skip him. And you can skip all of topic 10. Don't look at topic 10. It's gone. So from pages 106, this page here, or not 106, sorry, 107, all the way down to topic 10, get rid of all of topic 10. You look at all this. You guys are lucky we're missing this. So all of topic 10 to 117, get rid of. So page 107 to 117, don't study. The fancy word in math is omit, which just means skip. All right, you guys feel cool with that? That's a lot less work for you. You don't have to solve
Mister,
for X, Y, and Z. Yes, you have a question.
until when, which topic the test?
Up to topic 14.
14?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can see that on the front page of D2L. Don't worry, it seems like there's a lot left. There's really not. Topic 11 is just continuing on from what we just did. And 12, 13, and 14 are all the same thing. It seems like a lot, but these topics are really short. Don't worry. So we're going to have a tutorial, or I'll have a tutorial before your test on Tuesday anyway. So like Monday night, Monday afternoon, we'll have a little tutorial. Anyways, topic 11, we're going to do some word problems. Again, we are skipping anything with 3 variables. We're only doing 2 variables. We kind of looked at what you guys would need in future courses, and you only need up to 2 for now. So you can skip 3 variables. All right, so let me show you a couple. There's a few examples here. And then we'll do basically I'll show you a few examples and then get you to try them. And I'll show you what to eliminate in a minute. But anyways, let's look at a few examples of word problems. Now, again, word problems are just taking everything we just learned in topic 9 and applying it. So really, there's no difference between this topic and topic 9, besides we're going to turn word problems into equations and then solve it just like we did in chapter or section 9. And again, for this method, if you were given a word problem, wink, wink, on a test or on an assignment, wink, wink, for a word problem, you can choose whatever method you want. You can use substitution, elimination, or even graphing, although I would avoid graphing for some questions because the numbers are so big. This example takes the word problem and solves it using substitution. Okay, so let me show you. 2 shirts and 1 thobe cost 400 rials. 3 shirts and 2 thobes cost 650 rials. How much does 1 shirt cost and how much does 1 thobe cost? So like this might seem like a silly question, but if this was again, I'm speaking to my business students. I know some of you are not, you're engineering, but this is a type of cost analysis you can look at to maximize profit. So this is a way to, look at revenue and how much things cost. Like you will see this again. 2 shirts, 1 thobe, 400 rials. Well, instead of calling them shirts and thobes, let's turn this into a math equation, which we did way, way back in probably section 3 or 4. I can't even remember. But remember, we said like 3 times less Sally's aged, if you remember that. Well, this is the same thing. 2 shirts and 1 thobe cost 400 rial. Well, I'm an XY person. So let's say that, let's call shirts X's. And let's call thobes Y. You could pick S and T, shirt and thobe. You could pick A and B, like it doesn't matter. That's the beauty of math. We like X's and Y's. So 2X plus 1Y equals 400 rials. 3X plus 2Y equals 650. Turn it into your equation and solve. And I won't, don't worry, I am going to do examples with you. We will practice this today, but I'm just going to leave it here. You guys can solve this using any method you want. This example, the book decided to use substitution because it was really easy to solve for Y. Or did it? No, actually, I think this one used elimination. Doesn't really matter. You can solve this any way you want. This one did actually do elimination. Sorry. It multiplied the first equation by -2 and then added them together. Again, don't worry. We're going to do this together. Okay, so that's it. Let's look at another one. And again, I'm going to do one with you. Don't worry. Tickets for a concert cost 40 real for adults, 30 real for children. 900 tickets were sold for a total of 33,000 reals. How many adult tickets were sold and how many child tickets were sold? Now, this is a really interesting question. This one's a little bit more work to come up with the equations. So think about it. We got tickets for a concert. It's 40 for adults. Let's call adults X, and 30 for children. That's Y. Okay, so the adult tickets are X, the child tickets are Y. 900 tickets were sold. All right, so my first equation there would be if I added together the number of adult tickets and the number of child tickets, it would equal 900 tickets total. So this one's a little bit harder than the first one because we really need to think about this question. I'm telling you 900 tickets were sold. So the number of adult tickets plus the number of child tickets must equal 900. Now this is where it gets a little more complicated. I know that each adult ticket was 40 real and each child ticket was 30 real. And again, don't worry guys, I'm going to show you one of these or at least two of these. So the amount of money reals made off adults must have been 40 times the number of tickets. So 40x, this would be the profit, the money made off the adults. 30y would be the number made off the children's tickets. Add them together and you get your profit or your revenue of 33,000 reals. So my second equation would be 40x plus 30y equals 33,000. Then you just solve this like normal. Again, you guys can use whatever method you want to solve this. Honestly, some of you might like the substitution method. This is a good one to solve with substitution because you could easily calculate what x or y is. Again, whatever method you guys want, it's up to you. And don't worry, we are going to practice this. Let me come back to this example on page 120. I will come back to this one, but let's do some practice first. And remember, no 3 equations. We are not doing 3 equations, so you can get rid of page 121. Okay, that's the only page here. You still need to know the other pages. So I'm going to come back to page 120. We are going to look at this one. Page 120, by the way, is good for my medical science and engineering students. You get the hard question, but well, everybody gets the same questions, but page 120 will be a lot more useful for the medical science and engineering. But let's do an example. Let's start with number 1 here. At a cafe, 3 coffees and 2 teas cost 135 real. 1 coffee and 3 teas cost 80 real. How much is tea? How much is coffee? Okay, pretty straightforward. Let me show you this one, and then I'll probably get you guys to do number 2. Number 2 is a little bit harder, but I'll give you guys the tricky one. All right. So, well, let's make coffees equal X and let's make teas equal Y. Why not? I mean, it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to say X is my number of coffees. Y is my number of teas. Okay. This is easier now because we're not in Ramadan, so you guys can drink tea and coffee all day. 1 coffee and 3 teas. Oh, sorry. Let's start with the first one. 3 coffees and 2 teas. So 3 coffees and 2 teas equals 135. Perfect. This is why it's not the best to only know graphing, by the way. This would be a tough graph to make. with numbers this large, especially with number 2, graphs get a little bit crazy. So graphing is nice for small equations, not nice for big ones. Anyways, the next equation, 1 coffee and 3 teas equals 80. And now I want to solve. Okay, you can use whatever method you want. I'm an elimination guy. I'm going to stick with elimination. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my bottom equation by -3. Now, why am I doing that? Well, that will mean I'll get a -3 here and my x's will cancel. So I get 3x plus 2y equals 135. -3x minus 9y equals -240. Add them up. Now, I hope this gives me a nice number. We'll see. And guys, if I make a mistake, let me know. My x's will cancel. I just want to make sure everything's okay. Yep. So 2 minus 9 is -7y. 135 plus and minus 240 is -105. And that means y will be -105 divided by -7. And I get 15. Now think about this logically, guys. If you did this question and you got a negative number, think logically. How could a coffee or a tea be negative? Right? So if you did this calculation and you got like -7 or -15, you can't have a negative price for tea. That means what if you went to Costa, or I guess there's not really Costas anymore. If you went to Tea Time or Starbucks and the price was -15, that means that they would pay you 15 reals to drink their coffee. And wouldn't that be amazing? Unfortunately, that'll never happen. All right. So you want to make sure your number here for reals is positive. Okay. What about the x? Well, I'm going to take 15, or I'm going to solve this. I'm going to take 15 for the y and solve it. And let's pick equation 2. Look at equation 2. Let's do this one. This one's so easy. X plus 3 times 15 equals 80. X equals, that would be 4. Oops, sorry. Plus 45 equals 80. X equals, I'm going really slow through all the steps here, but it's nice to show you everything, I guess. 80 minus 45 would give us a 35 real coffee. That's an expensive coffee, isn't it? Well, no. Yeah, no, that's pretty expensive. I guess most coffees here are like 20 real or something. So the answer to this is 35 and 15. So what that means is a coffee is 35 reals and a tea is 15. All right. Now, why don't you guys try the harder one? I'm just going to see if you guys can do number 2. We won't do all the practice. There's a lot of good practice here. But have a look at number 2. See if you can do it. I need you to give me adult tickets and child tickets, the number of adult and the number of child tickets sold. Remember, they have to be positive numbers. So I'm going to stop talking. This is very much like example 2. Good luck. Take 5 minutes or so for that, and then we'll check your answers. All right, I got one answer in the chat so far from Samira. And like, remember, number 2, these answers should be big because you're calculating tickets sold. So Samira, it's a good, the numbers look great. I haven't done it yet, but 100 tickets for adults and 250 tickets for children, child tickets. Keep working. I'll give you another 2 minutes and I'll go through. Again, if you don't know how to do this, it does take some practice. So don't panic today if you need a bit more time to practice these. So keep trying. 2 more minutes. We'll look at the answer and then we're almost done. Fatima got the same thing, so that's good. So just another minute or so, 2 minutes. We'll look at the answer. All right, finish it up. Hopefully, hopefully you guys can do I only have 2 answers. Finish it up. See if you can get at least X. I think it's 100 or adults, and we'll look at the answer. So kind of finish up what you're working on, and we'll look at the answer. All right, so let's have a look at this now. Am I going to be able to clear this? Yes. Okay, cool. So let's see how this one is done. Now, this one is obviously a little bit different than number 1 in terms of, setting up the equations, but the method is very similar. So I'm going to let the number of adult tickets. Now, remember, that's what we're looking for. Adult and children's tickets. So I'm going to let the number of adult tickets equal X, number of child equal Y. And again, you could say A and C. You could pick whatever you want. So adults can buy tickets to a football game for 20 reals. Children can pay 10 reals. 350 tickets were sold. Okay, just stop there for 1 second. The first equation then is, let me zoom in actually. Here we go. I can write a little easier now. if 350 tickets were sold, then the first equation is X plus Y. So the number of adult tickets plus the number of child tickets is equal to 350. That's equation number 1. Okay, equation number 2 is a little bit more work. I know that the total number, or the total amount made, I guess. And then if you were a business, you would think of this as revenue. The total revenue is 4,500. So that means 20 reals times the number of adult tickets plus 10 reals times the number of child tickets will equal 4,500 reals. These are my 2 equations. Now, you can pick any method you want. You can do substitution or elimination. I'm going to stick with how the book does it, and I'll pick elimination. I'm going to multiply the top equation by -20. Now, why? Well, when I do that, what I'm going to get is -20x minus 20y equals negative. Now, I can't do this in my head. 350 times -20 would be -7,000. This looks like it's getting more complicated, but then when I add it to the second equation, right? I'm not doing anything to the second equation. It looks a little easier now. So what I'm left with is -10y equals 7,000 minus 4,500. So 2,500 or minus 2,500. Okay, so y becomes 250. Now think about this. I know that there were 300, like even forget about math for a second. Think about this logically. There were 350 tickets sold. 250 of those were children tickets. So how many adult tickets are left? Well, that's easy. I'll go back to red here. I know that X plus Y equals 350. Now, again, a lot of you could do this in your head. 350 tickets sold. 250 of those were children's. That means adult has to be 100. And if you want to show this mathematically, you don't actually have to show this step if you don't want to, because this one's so easy. X is 100. So 100 and 250, or, because this is a word problem, you would answer this to me, you would say 100 adult tickets, 250 children's tickets. Pretty cool what you can do with math. I don't know any, in your real life, if you would ever have to do this, unless you were maybe in accounting or business or something like that. But I do have one more thing to show you. I won't go too crazy today because it's our first class back. But we are going to finish this topic because there's one more type. It's a scary kind of type. This type I skipped on page, I can't remember the page number. I'll go back to it in a minute. But this one is very useful for the engineering and medical science people in here. So anybody going further in engineering or medical science, the next problem is for you. Before I move on, does anybody have questions on 1 or 2? If not, I got one more topic to show you. All right. So what do you remember now? Don't skip slide 121. We're not doing 3 variables. There are no 3 variables in this course. So you can skip slide 121 or page 121. But what about page 120? I moved over that. Well, this is, it looks like a scary question, but it's actually not that bad. This is, wink, wink. This is one that you might have to do on your assignment this weekend. You can, again, when you're doing your assignment, it's all multiple choice and you can take as much time as you need. So be very careful when you're doing something like this on your assignment. Okay, so let me read it. I'll show you this example and then we'll do one together. I'm going to do number 5. And then that'll be it for today. We'll pick this up tomorrow. So page 120. What about, look at this one. Let me read the question. You need a 15% acid solution for a certain test. Okay, so again, for medical science or engineering, this is something you might need. You might need to calculate a type of solution that you're making or using. So I need a 15% solution. Unfortunately, the only types that your supplier will give you are 10 and 30. And this is a very common thing I know in like a medical lab or a chemistry situation where you need a specific, what we would call in science, a concentration, but you need to make it yourself by mixing 2 solutions together. So again, you have 10% and 30%, and what you need is 15%. In order to do that, you're going to have to mix some of the 10% solution with some of the 30%. I'm trying to think of like how a real life example, like in your kitchen, this would be like if you took, full fat milk and low fat milk and you tried to create your own percentage, this is kind of like what you would do. So your boss, your employer is saying that I want, you have to have 15% of this solution and I want you to make me 20 liters of this solution. How much of this are you going to mix together? How many liters of 10% and how many liters of 30% will mix together to make 20 liters of 15? This sounds scary. It looks a bit scary, but it's really not that bad. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. You can use formulas and just solve it regularly, or you can put it into tables to help. And I'll kind of go through both of these when I do my own example in a minute, but I'll show you this one. And then I'm going to do question number 5 with you. So one thing before anything you get started, in calculations, we never use percents, we use decimals. So we always use decimals. Now, if you can't remember how to do that, that's an A, by the way. If you can't remember how to do that, you divide by 100. So for example, 15% is 0.15. 10% is 0.1. 30%, 0.3. So we don't use percents in these calculations. Okay, so I'm going to just because it's the first one, we're dealing with a 10% and a 30% solution. Think of solution as like just like a type of chemical, like low fat milk and full fat milk. 10% I'm going to call X. So the liters of 10% solution is X. The liters of 30% solution will be Y. Now remember, I need 20 liters total. So the first equation, and I'll talk about this table in a minute, but the very first equation that you come up with is X plus Y equals 20. Okay, X plus Y equals 20. The liters of the 10% solution plus the liters of the 30% solution must add to give me 20. Where does the 20 come from? Up here. I need to make 20 liters of this solution. Okay, so you can create a table to do this. I'm going to show, I kind of do this a little differently, which I'll show you in a minute. But anyways, you can create a table to do this. So for my 10% solution, the liters of the solution are X. The percentage of the acid is 0.1. Remember, this is a 10%, so we change it to 0.1. So the total liters of acid needed would be 0.1 times X. For the 30% solution, we're going to call that Y. The percent of acid there is 0.3. So the total liters of acid for that one will be 0.3 Y. Now, my mixture is going to be X plus Y together. The percent of acid in the mixture is 15. Where did the 15 come from? Right here. Okay, we're looking to make a 15% solution. So the total liters of acid here are going to be 0.15 times 20, which equals 3. And we're going to solve this. We actually don't really need this number here. So the liters of the 10% solution and I'm right here, guys, if you're wondering where I'm marking. The liters of the 10% solution and the liters of the 30% solution must equal 20. So x plus y equals 20. And we can solve that for x. X equals 20 minus y. I'm going to use the substitution method. Now, if x equals 20 minus y, I'm going to put that in here. So the total liters of acid is 0.10 equals 20 times y. If you set up the problem in tables like this, you can use the last column there to write your equation. So 0.10, I'm just subbing this in for x plus this number. 0.3 will equal this number, 3. So my first equation is here. It comes from this last column. So again, I'm going to show you one. If this makes no sense to you, I'm going to show you. Don't worry. It's easier once I do one with you. So I set this up as an equation and I solve for y and get 5. And now the rest of the problem is very easy. Again, I'm going to show you one. Don't worry. It's easier than it looks once I do one. Well, if I know that x plus y equals 20, and I know y is 5, then x plus 5 equals 20. X is 15. Let me do one with you, okay? It's a lot easier if I do one. I'm sure some of you are sitting there like, what is happening? It's a lot easier than it looks. Okay, so let me do one. Okay, I'm gonna do number 5. And if you guys wanna try one, maybe after you could try number 6, but let's do number 5. And then that'll be pretty much it for today. We can kind of review number 6 tomorrow. So number 5. A 10% chlorine solution is to be mixed with a 25% chlorine solution, and I'm trying to make 30 liters of a 20% solution. How many liters of each must be used? This is the same question, worded much easier, which I like. I like this question because it's worded very straightforward. How many liters of each must be used? Now, okay, hold on. Let's make a plan here. Let's call the 10% solution X, and let's call the 30% solution Y. Okay, so let's make a little list here, a little table. Let me zoom in too. Okay, so my 10% solution. Let's call him the amount of liters for this one, I'm going to call X. My 25% solution. So 10% chlorine is mixed with 25% chlorine. I'm going to call this one Y. Now, I want to mix them together to get 30 liters. So my mixture of both of these chemicals will be X plus Y equals 30. Okay, that's my first formula. I know it says here, I want to make 30 liters of solution. So 10% of X, 25% of Y, I'm going to make 30 liters. X plus Y equals 30. Now, I want to think of the percent of this solution, right? It could be acid. In this case, it's chlorine. Well, I know that the first solution X is 0.10, and my second solution is 0.25Y. Now, the mixture must be 0.20. Okay, again, I'm getting all of this from the question. Where did the 0.20 come from? Came from here. That my mixture has to be 0.2%. All right. Now, if you think about it, these are our two equations. X plus Y has to be 30, 0.10 X plus 0.25Y equals 0.20. These are the two equations. that we're going to be solving. But using a table, it can kind of help us organize our thoughts. But you could just solve this right now, right? If you wanted to solve for this equation, you can. Oh, sorry. Whew. I almost erased all my writing. The total over here, which we're going to use to solve this, ooh, my pen's going a bit crazy. I hope I don't delete anything, would be 0.10x, 0.30, or not 30, 250. And my answer to this, I'm going to multiply these together. I'm looking for 0.20 multiplied by 30. I'm just multiplying these together, by the way, if you're wondering. Okay, so now I can hopefully solve this equation. Let me check the chat before I move on. Somebody said, where did I get the point, or sorry, the one, it was a private message, but somebody said, where did I get the 0.1, the 0.25? Right here in the question. 10%, 0.1, 25%, 0.25. That's where those, every number I'm using comes from this question. Okay, so let's put it all, and really, oops, sorry, I dropped my pen. Really, guys, you're just solving this, but let's do it like the book did it. Let's keep going with our tables. I can't erase this, so, or I can't delete this, so you're gonna have to let me erase it. Give me a second. Oh, I wish I like, over the break, I did a little looking up on if I could make the eraser bigger. I can't figure out how. Well, I don't think it's possible. So just give me a second here to erase all this. Okay, let me check the chat before I move on. Yes, so again, this is a private message. Remember to change percent to a decimal, you divide by 100. Okay, so instead of like, I need to like solve this for one variable first. So why don't I take the fact that I know using this equation, I know that x is equal to y minus 30 and put this into my table. Sorry about my pen there. It keeps disappearing for me. I don't know if it disappears for you. So this table becomes 10%, 25%. I'm just changing the table, the mixture. So instead of x, I'm going to write y minus 30. Y stays the same. The percent of acid, 0.10. So my total liters would be 0.10 multiplied by y minus 30. My y stays the same. I don't do anything with my y. So I keep this the same. And this stays the same. So my answer here would be 3.0. Now what I'm going to do is solve this situation. Ooh, I ran out of room, didn't I? So 0.10 times y minus 30 plus 0.30. Oh, I'm writing 30. Sorry, I meant this should be 25. I'm not copying my table down, am I? Sorry, I didn't copy down my table, right? Plus 0.25y equals 3. And what I'm going to do is solve this for y. And then I'll find, I can plug it in and find x. Unfortunately, I'm out of room. I wrote too big here. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Well, I'll do it down here. So 0.10 y minus 30 oh, sorry. I got to fix something. 30 minus y. I'll fix that in a second. Plus 0.25y equals 3. I'm just going to solve this. Sorry, I made a little mistake up here. This is, of course, 30 minus y. I didn't solve my equation right. Oh, somebody already got the answer there. Sorry, so this should be 30 minus y, not y minus 30, my bad. Let me fix that. And then we can solve. Oops. It's tough when I'm running out of room. Okay, so let's solve this equation. So this means I'm going to get 0.10 times 3 is 3 minus 0.10y plus 0.25y equals 3. Hold on one second. Sorry, I'm making all these little mistakes here. I don't know why. I can do another one of these for you guys tomorrow. This is 6, my brain. No one's correcting me. 0.2 times 30 is 6. Sorry, guys, that's my bad. I'll do another one of these tomorrow so you can figure, we can kind of straighten this out. I'm making all these little typos because I'm trying to finish. That's 6. Sorry. So 6. All right. So let's put all this together. We get 0.15y equals 6 minus 3. 0.15y equals 3. And then we'll solve for y. Okay, so 3 divided by 0.15 gives us 20. Whew. I'll do another one of these tomorrow. So if this was a little confusing because of my typos, I'll do number 7 with you tomorrow. Now, if I know that I have 20 liters of y, well, then the rest of this is actually pretty easy. The whole solution makes 30 liters. X plus y equals 30. So x plus 20 equals 30. X equals 10. Whew. So the final, I wrote a lot. I don't think we needed to write all this, but the final answer is we would mix together 10 liters of X and 20 liters of Y to get our final solution. Little confusing because of I made a few mathematical mistakes up here, especially with this 0.2 times 3 is 6. But what we'll do tomorrow, because we're pretty much out of time today, tomorrow, if this didn't make any sense, I'll show you number 7. This number 7 or number, sorry, not number 7, number 6. We can do 6 and 7 tomorrow. Will be a bit more further practice for you. So guys, that's it for me. I think that's enough for today, an hour and 35 minutes, so a bit long. We'll do another one of these tomorrow for practice. I don't want to do any more today. So if that didn't make much sense, we'll look at number 6 and we can also do number 7 tomorrow. All right, that's it for me today. If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, have a great day, fantastic day. Welcome back. I hope you all had a good Eid.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Sorry about I think the couple of mistakes I made might have confused you guys. So we'll look at this again tomorrow. I won't make any typos for the next one tomorrow. So good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you all tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you, teacher. See you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Mr. Mara.